Can you give us a ballpark of watchers?
Yes, we are live on YouTube, but Facebook first.
You need help?
Sure. I'm just trying to find.
We'll be back with you. Hold on just a second. Oh. Okay. Mic on?
We good?
Okay. Well, happy Friday, everybody. I am David Gross with Condé Systems and Jeff Butler, and we're here to share a little bit of wisdom for sublimation success. One of these Fridays, we're going to drag Doug DeWitt in here to talk about his Oki and transfer technology, especially the very exciting FlexOff product. I know you've been using the FlexOff.
Love the FlexOff. Good stuff.
FlexOff is just a great thing, and you know, we need to share that probably. Wanted to just share a little bit of happenings, and Jeff wanted to speak a little bit about all the exciting things that will help you make money. Before we get started, want to mention that we are always running our weekly contest on our client gallery, and every Friday we have an award for folks. In addition, we have an ongoing contest for the Color Light film. Color Light film, do we have an example of the Color Light film? Color Light film is an amazing technology breakthrough. It's basically a sublimatable film. When you sublimate it, it's viewable from both sides. And it really just almost glows. And we're trying to come up with all sorts of great ideas for it. This is using our shout box frame with just a piece of Color Light film. So really cool product, makes a little shadow box. Very exciting. And of course you can also use the shout boxes with the hardboard inserts.
Yep, we've seen lampshades, we've seen earrings, pendants for necklaces, just all kinds of cool stuff. So keep sending your ideas.
Yeah, really cool product. I've seen some outdoor products where people have some hanging, like stuff in their yard. So real cool. The next big trade show for us will be in Long Beach, California, at the NBM show there. What is the date of that show, Jeff?
That is the first week of August, end of July, first week of August. Always a fantastic show, one of our favorite shows to go to. Big show, good show. If you're 200-300 miles within distance, make it a point to get there. You will definitely pick up all kinds of ideas, tips, get to see the latest equipment. We'll have a full booth running, full kiosk. And our coloring station, which has been a huge hit.
So we're going to operate a second booth for our coloring station, which is the new sublimation markers. And they've been a huge hit. They're a lot of fun. So recommend that you check that out. My favorite reason for going to those shows, if you certainly can, really two reasons. Number one is the educational opportunities, I think, are intense. Everything is free, from what I know. The classes are free, and you really ought to check out, you know, we'll call it continuing education classes. For instance, one of my favorites is Craig Burton's Digital Art Solutions Corel class, where he helps you grow your Corel skills. And you know, if you're not a Corel person, then maybe this isn't for you. But if you are a Corel person, Corel Draw is really a Swiss Army knife, and you can do amazing things with it. But at any rate, consider that. Jeff and I will be teaching our class, and it's really we'll call it the Road to Sublimation Success Best Practices, where we show you, share with you those practices. And Jeff will talk about some of the things that are happening at your, we'll call it your antique boutique shop. Which is pretty exciting. It's I guess it's sort of your experiment of what works, right?
It is. And it's a no-brainer. I've talked with several people all over the country and at these shows where we focus more now with the home decor aspect of it. Not doing a lot of custom stuff, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't be doing the custom stuff. It's still where it's at. But it's a lot of fun.
I think doing the kinds of designs over and over again that you do is actually a different dimension that is very powerful, because instead of you focusing on unique customized artwork for each product, you can look at some great artwork that folks will buy over and over again. It could be related to your destination, things around you, historic, you name it.
Local artists.
Or just, local artists, things like that. So we're going to be showcasing that. And you ought to take a few of your images and put them on the client gallery.
Sure.
Share that with folks there. So I think the show is well worth going to. The other second reason to go to the show is networking. I will see folks come up to our booth, and they will share with each other what's working for them, what's not working for them, and there's no better bare metal way of growing your business than speaking to your peers. So certainly you can listen to us or whatever, but if you're speaking to folks that maybe are near you, maybe they're not, about what's going on in their business, you can pick up so many great ideas. And that's really, to some extent, the theme of our client gallery. You get to see what other people are doing.
Well, getting back to what you just mentioned, it's always fun to be in the booth and watch and listen to the conversations around us with guys just like y'all, and talking with other people. Hey, this is working for me, and then watch how everybody just kind of helps each other, gives tips, just like you said. Hey, this is working for me. Asking questions. Everybody just kind of coming together and sharing ideas. It's really cool to see that go down.
Excellent. We're going to have a couple of webinars coming up, so stay tuned for that. I know we'll have another Digital Art Solutions Corel webinar. And, we put a lot of the webinars on Condé TV, especially some of the Jimmy Lamb webinars. We have a number of ones up there now for folks that are using Creative Studio. Creative Studio comes bundled with the Virtuoso printers. It's a free lifetime license for those printers, and it's a very powerful decorating software solution for folks that either don't own any software like Corel, or they don't know how to use it. And so Creative Studio is basically a Corel-like cloud-based designer. And some of the cool features of Creative Studio is that you can actually design with your tablet. So you can log into the Creative Studio website, design your designs, and then print them from your computer. And I think that's cool. Really cool, decentralized kind of design and printing. So I would say that platform continues to grow every day. And I'll talk to somebody and they'll say, we use Corel. We're knowledgeable of Corel, but let's say they set up a little something special at a little fair or whatever. But they do something that involves maybe a part-time employee or something, and that part-time employee doesn't know Corel. Well, what do? Do you teach them Corel and wait for them to be competent, or do you just give them some software that's easy? So if you do have an SG400 800, you do have a license to Creative Studio.
We had a question about any trade shows near Topeka, Kansas.
The question is about a trade show near Topeka, Kansas. So I'm a little weak on my geography, but would it be? I wonder how close Indianapolis would be.
I'm going to think Indianapolis, which is another fantastic show. Great city.
So if you want to, if you Google NBM shows, N is in Nancy, B is in boy, M is in Mary shows. Jeff and I teach at all those shows, And there's quite a few shows left for this year. I think we'll be headed to the Meadowlands, which I call Secaucus,
They're all on our website.
Indianapolis, and we do have a link posted for all our shows. And I think we're going to hit Dallas in a little bit. So
Charlotte.
Charlotte.
I think the next is, so we have Long Beach, Secaucus, Indianapolis, and then I think around Dallas, Charlotte, of course Las Vegas, and maybe a couple others sprinkled in. Check the website, everything's there.
Las Vegas is the SGA show. And I'll say one thing, I'm going to be a judge, I think next week. I got to remember the day when I fly out, but I'll be a judge in Louisville, Kentucky for the Skills USA competition. So I think if you go to like skillsusa.org, that's happening there. I'm not positive it's open to the public, but it probably is. And that's where high school students and they compete, and there's actually a sublimation competition. And I'm a judge in one of those areas. So should be fun. Looking forward to it. Louisville is, of course, a great town, and that is the headquarters for the fantastic folks at Universal Woods. They have done so much for our industry and come out with those fantastic products.
It could be a good place to recruit employees.
Yeah, Meredith is behind the camera, and she shared that maybe that's a great place to recruit employees. You see some of these students that now are very competent with sublimation decorating technology. Maybe that's an opportunity. So got that. Jeff, what are we going to do today?
So, you want to talk about new products?
Yep.
Go there? All right, speaking of Unisub, the yard signs, wildly popular. And we've got a couple new ones here. This is this in the 9980s?
Those are the garden stakes.
Garden stakes. So where's our yard
That's
signs?
the 9980.
Ah, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. These have been a hit. All the different shapes, configurations. Like I said, here's some others that I just showed you. Jump on the website, take a look. They just keep coming out with hits one after the other.
Yeah, so this particular one, I believe this is the newest one that we designed. So this would be, in my mind, it would be a great way for you to put like the street numbers on it for a house, sort of a street sign. So really nice. This is the brand new, what we refer to as the Unisub outdoor metal. And I believe it should come with a yellow peel coat, I believe. And that signifies the outdoor product. So, you know, in our mind, this is a solid 3-year product. And probably exceeds that depending on your conditions. The really limit to it is, like a southern facing exposure in Florida, Arizona, something like that. But these are just fantastic products, and we're getting so much feedback from clients about what they're doing with it. And Jeff, what are some things we've seen? Show us.
So we have Pet Memorial. Any memorial actually would work great. We talked to a lot of people in Cleveland that they focus on this market. These are just great. Put a little graveside kind of thing for your pet. We've seen parking, team sports kind of thing. Like David said, house numbers, plants, gardens, putting them in your garden, anything outdoor. Santa stop here, that kind of thing. We got Christmas is not that far away.
Yeah, let me see that, Meredith.
Here's a cool one. Yeah.
This is a larger one here. By the way, we talked to some people there that were talking about using them for events, could be wedding events, things like that, and then afterwards they're a keepsake. So really, very, very fluid product, lots of uses of it.
Real estate.
Centerpieces and flower
Right,
arrangements.
centerpiece and flower arrangements. Just unlimited. And if you have an idea, if you have a shape in mind that you want to see, shoot us an email. We can make that happen. We talk directly with Unisub daily.
Yeah, we design many of our own products, and either we make them ourselves or we get to find folks at vendors like partners like Universal Woods. So look forward to that. You know, the pet market. My dad was a veterinarian, 54 years, and as everybody knows, people often will spend more money on their pet than they will their kids. And one of the things that I suggest everybody do is partner with a local pet groomer, set up a little display of a few products that you can get with your dogs on there, and people will buy them. I mean, nobody takes their dog to the pet groomer because they have to. They take it because they love it. So you got so many great opportunities there. And when you partner with a pet groomer, you share some of the profit, but what you're really doing is you're hiring a sales force. And the pet groomers will love you because there's really nothing exciting going on in a pet grooming business other than the occasional dog that bites somebody, something like that. So, you know, let's tag on to the love that folks have for their dog.
And I was asked in Cleveland, well, how do I go about doing that? Well, it's really simple. Make up a nice display that can fit on the counter, doesn't take up too much space, has the different products. Work out your deal with the groomer on the back end, whether it's 30% commission, something along that line. Give them a way to place the orders with you. Provide them with some part numbers, some pricing, make it easy for them, and they'll take the orders, they'll send them to you, and everybody wins.
Yeah, I would say, you know, you either they collect the money or you collect the money. I would say it's probably better if they collect it, and that way, you know, they're handling sales tax and all that kind of good stuff, and then you're just doing what I call the wholesale fulfillment of the orders there. I do recommend, though, that, you know, like on the back of these products, you sort of, you know, you can promote your partnership with the pet groomer, but you can also indicate that you're behind that. And I would tell you also is make sure that the pet groomer is taking pictures of the pet owner when they receive their gift, and maybe get the pet groomer to post those on his Facebook, Instagram, and that's going to be a big deal to grow their business. I mean, everybody is looking for a way to make their business distinctive, better than others, and why not add a completely new dimension to it? And, you know, like for instance us, our golden retriever passed away last summer. And, you know, definitely I made a number of products for our family to moralize our dog. And, of course, we bought another one. But the point is that you know, these pet lovers really, you know, want to get plugged into this.
And the social media aspect is so strong. I mean, you can play off of each other's hashtags with the pet groomer. Post them onto your site, keep this ongoing thing. You're essentially telling a story, and you're sharing it with your customers. Pet groomer sharing it with his. Get this thing going. It's very, very powerful.
And I would say if you could sneak a flat screen TV into the pet groomer and just have a slideshow of people getting their products. Jeff, in my class, we showed Jeff's Instagram page where when he's at the flea market, he was taking pictures of people receiving their products, and the smiles on their faces, the joy of getting a personalized product. There's nothing that beats that.
Didn't take much to ask them. They were happy to be happy and be a part of that. So moving on, we've got talking a lot about Unisub. We have the new maple magnets. All right, these are pretty cool. Laser cut magnets. You could actually use these as a name badge in kind of a rustic type setting, say a Cracker Barrel kind of restaurant type deal. This one is a save the date. This is just simple live, laugh, love message. Refrigerator magnets are easy. They're easy, especially if you have a gift shop, if you're in an airport, travel destination. This is something they can pick up, they can take home, they can put it in their suitcase, in their purse, pocket. A lot of margin in these. You're talking $6-7 retail. I would guess these probably cost you around $1.50 to produce. Very simple, no-brainer kind of thing here.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about the name badge aspect, but my all-time favorite product of all time is the name badge. I think the name badge is the only product you sell once and then you just take reorders. So I would say that you're going to encounter people that are going to fall in love with a product like that as name badge. I hadn't thought about that. Also, these are really double-sided products, so if you're going to use it for, let's say, a save the date kind of thing, what you could do is you could put your message on the front, of course, but on the back you could provide maybe some more details about the wedding, you know, where the wedding's going to be, when, whatever. You could also put your reorder information on the back where they can get these products, because often the person who's actually going to get this will have no clue where it came from. So every product that you produce needs to have your information on there. And in the case of the pet groomers, going back to that, you probably would put the pet groomers information on there, but it's something you work out. Bottom line is you know, people want to know where they can get more of these great products. Do we have a question, Meredith?
There's just a comment about the size of the magnet on those, saying she'd like bigger ones.
So I think that's a 1x3, and so if you could let us know,
Shoot us an email.
what
for sure.
size you would like.
Shapes, not only sizes,
But
shapes.
that's a maple veneer with sort of a hardboard interior. Great product.
It was more about the size of the magnet. She needs a bigger magnet on
Okay, so you got a couple of choices. You can do a bigger magnet, you can do double magnets.
Yep.
Kind of stuff.
And I believe this is pretty easy to get your hands on if you want to get sheets. I believe I've seen sheets. You can cut your own. Very small cost. But keep those comments coming. Keep the suggestions coming. We're always listening out for them. So we've got vapor shirts, new colors. This is our, what color is that? Coyote brown. And we've got a local Sterling Hot Yoga and Wellness Center, and today is what holiday?
Yesterday was Yoga Day.
So we're a day late, but hey, we're there.
Let's talk about these shirts. So if you go to our website and you're trying to pay attention to what we're doing, some of our shirts will have sublimation certified and some will not. The darker the color, those kind of shirts will not indicate they're sublimation certified. And what that means is that typically if you just press to these shirts, the dye that is in the shirt that makes up this color, some of that dye comes out. And you will see a spot on the shirt where there was heat. And so we have been diligently playing around with different transfer techniques to minimize the effect. But be aware that these shirts are not ideal candidates for sublimation. They're more of, they're just great colors. People love them. We are going to work our best to tune a transfer technique, and that's what we were doing last night, as a matter of fact. And it looks
Well, that
like
solid color looks really good on there.
Pretty good.
Coyote brown is sublimation certified.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
So the Coyote is sublimation certified, and I mean it's obvious. You can tell right there. That's a great looking transfer.
And what is the name of this color?
OD green.
OD green.
green.
This one is not. I would still. You could put a black design on it, and I'm sure you come out fine.
Now, do the shirts come in both long and short sleeve?
They do.
Okay.
With both of these.
And are these the ones that have the UV package in them?
Yes, there's
So the UV package is one of the things that Vapor has become, I mean, well known around the world as far as putting in sun protection, skin protection package into their shirts. I think there's some kind of certification they receive from one of the health organizations like the Cancer Society or something. I'm sure that's on our website. But you know, just the array of shirts from a toddler shirt with long sleeves, great for skin protection. You know, if you got young kids, that's one of those things that you tend to freak out about. You don't want them to turn into a lobster because that's not a good thing.
Well,
So
speaking of, there's that child's long sleeve that's made.
Yep.
That's the goal of that shirt. So it's we'll have to pull a part number. We'll maybe post a comment with the link to that shirt.
So vapor shirts are just awesome. You know, out there, Sublimation's going to work typically on everything that has a high polyester content. But I'll tell you, as far as consistency in the sublimation quality of these shirts, Vapor ranks #1.
Absolutely. What about the acrylic? Have we shown the car coasters and the bag tags?
You know, I think a few weeks ago we talked a little bit about it, but our acrylic product continues to grow, and so many great ideas are coming from folks like you. We had a lot of fun doing bag tags at the Cleveland show. And is anybody out there that was at the Cleveland show? Let us know. We'll mention. But so now we have, you know, of course, the coasters, the bag tags, the car coasters. Awesome. I've got the car coaster in my car right now, and just a beautiful thing. So, you know, the ladies are really buying the car coasters. They love them, and so take advantage of that. You know, if you're not plugged into this like we are, you don't realize that the ladies are the ones spending the money, and so you definitely want to cater to those, especially with your artwork. You know, really attractive artwork. And also the monograms with patterns, chevrons, things like that, because that's going to sell.
So speaking of, you said the magic word there, speaking of catering, so this is something that I touched on in Cleveland in our Facebook Live. And I did a lot of experimenting with it, talked to a lot of people out there, and essentially, you know, I'm going to touch on it again, and kind of something I'm still working on, but it's proven to be very effective. Is so my past life, you were an engineer, and I was in the catering business about 20 years ago. And so the way that we worked and the way we marketed the business was we were providing the food for the events, for these special events, these weddings, these graduations, engagement parties, things of that nature. Well, it kind of falls right in line with what we do here, which is you're helping your customers tell their story. So their story can, you know, I kind of separated it into blocks of events. And this is something that you can do when they come in and you're doing different things for them for different events. Like say if they're doing something for an engagement, well, next is the wedding. So if you're you keep like a little simple database of the things that you're doing in the events, and you're providing those products to help your customer tell that story, then you're becoming a part of the family, and then it becomes a generational thing. So I've got kind of a loose list of kind of that timeline. So we'll start with an engagement. You got an engagement. You got to save the date. You got a bridal shower. You got a bachelorette party. Then you've got the wedding. Then you've got honeymoon. And then you've got, you know, we'll kind of stop there, but you're going to have an anniversary. So back in the day, you would go to the photo lab and you would drop off a roll of film and you'd get this big packet of photos, 24, 36. You know, some of them might be pictures of the ground. Some of them might be the pictures of the inside of your pocket. But then you'd have 20 or 30 photos. You'd kind of pick through those, and then what would you do? You'd take them and you'd put it in a frame. You would display it. That's part of your story. That's what you want to remember. And so now with this technology, with sublimation, you can help tell the story. People have the pictures on their phones or wherever they have them. they've already picked out the picture they want to tell their story. So it's up to you guys to provide really cool products like the acrylic. Like this could be a save the date kind of thing. Then, like I said, we move into like your wedding, another fine piece. And so here you go. You're building a story. You're helping your customers tell the story. So then what do we have next? So then usually we've got something like a birth announcement. So then we go from the birth announcement to baby shower, baby's first birthday, baptism, christening, first communion, bar mitzvah. Then you move off into graduation. So once you get into graduation, say you go graduation, high school, college, then what happens next? You start all over again. So you become generational. Now you're back to engagement, save the date. So if you're providing the vehicle for your customer to tell that story, then it just starts all over again. You're a part of the family. You're the go-to guy, the go-to girl to help them get their story out there and show it. So one of the ways you can do that is by building your samples in your showroom to tell your story. Show them how easy it is. Here's my wedding photo. Here's our honeymoon photo. This is where, Bob got stung by a jellyfish at the beach. You got a story that goes with it. And so your customers are going to come in and go, hey, I want to tell my story just like you did because that's really cool. I like that. And just, again, you become a part of it. There you go. I caught a starfish. But, people love a story. And if you've got a story to tell your customers, it makes it a lot easier for them to get ideas and go, hey, that's what I want to do. I want to do that same thing. Kind of goes back to the what you were talking about with the save the date, putting that contact info on the back. Those guests are going to see this and they're going to go, hey, that's pretty cool. I want to tell my story just like they did. Oh, here's where it came from. And so you just kind of build that business, keep good records, keep simple records. Like I said, if they come in, you see a baby announcement, again, baby's first birthday. Give them a call, pick up the phone, set a schedule of dates to give them a call back and say, hey, we see, it's almost, we see a birthday coming up. Is there anything we can do for you?
If you don't have a showroom, which a lot of folks don't have a retail storefront, you can just do the same thing on your Facebook page, on your Instagram.
Media, exactly.
And the iPersonalize app allows people to upload and decorate for their products. So I think you've got lots of opportunities to let folks know what's working. And then of course for folks that want to, they could go and partner with a retail establishment in their area. It could be maybe a card shop. So my wife the other day was wanting to do a wedding shower, and so she was going all around town, and she really didn't want to buy it on the internet because she really wasn't sure she was going to get what she wanted. And so she hunted down, and I asked her how many card shops are there in Mobile, and she said basically 2. And really she ended up saying there's only really 1. And so, if you went into there and said, okay, I want to partner with you to sell complementary products that are appropriate for all the occasions of life coming in. I mean, if you think about it, to some extent, we can be sort of like the gift card shop. It's the occasions of life.
Right. And I will put this list together and have it available. I've got so that those kind of blocks, that'll rotate. Then you have things, of course, like birthdays, congratulations, get well, retirement, sympathy, thank you. Then your standard holiday, Christmas, Easter, Father's Day, etc. But it's something we're going to, we'd love to hear your feedback and your ideas. What's working for you? Are you doing this kind of thing? Is it, and we'll just keep running with it. And, you're telling the story with color. And our color is what makes us who we are. We are the best at color, and we can help you be the best at color, providing it and helping your customers tell their story with color.
Yeah, going back just a second to especially dogs, but I guess cats are in the mix. You know, I love dogs and sort of tolerate cats, but I know there's a lot of cat lovers out there. So my dad, being a veterinarian, when one of his clients would have a pet pass away, he would always write a sympathy card to them, and I think he even had some poems that went along with them. But just think if you partnered with, it could be a veterinarian, also it could be a pet groomer, whatever, to send out some sort of keepsake to those. It wouldn't necessarily have to be their picture, but it could be a poem that was personalized for their dog. Who knows? If you could get a picture, photograph of the pet, maybe that'd even work well. I mean, you think about a veterinarian, how easy it would be for them to take a picture of the dog or cat coming in. It's great. So, one of the things I've written about is going back to your occasions of life is my favorite story about Jesse James, which I probably told too often. But Jesse James, of course, was a very famous or infamous bank robber in the Old West. And a reporter one day asked Jesse James exactly why did he rob banks. And Jesse James looked at that reporter like they had truly lost their mind, and he answered very simply, because that's where the money's at. And so with these products, think about, where people are really willing to pay. Certainly, I think birth things are great, pet things are great, and so use your connections, your experience to build up those profit opportunities.
Absolutely. So, do we have a review winner? Do we have that, or are we going to pull one real quick? We can do that. Okay.
Tell them to post. We need some more product reviews.
Yeah, definitely. We need more product reviews. So, we have a contest we give out every week here on Facebook Live. Is $25 account credit. So on each product page, you'll see tabs across the bottom, and there's one for reviews. Click that tab, write us a quick review. It's very simple. There's like 3 boxes to fill in: email address, name, and then a little short review. You might be the next winner. And we'll pull a winner here before we get done today for this week. And but now let's move on. Let's make something. You want to make something?
Do it.
We had a quick question about what products you use in a vacuum press, a vacuum box.
So the question is in reference to what's called a vacuum 3D press, and essentially, some of the other folks that are like Condé, if you will, do sell vacuum presses. And I would say that most of those presses are inexpensive. They're Chinese kind of presses, and I would be very much against those. I don't believe that's what people should be spending their money on, for the simple reason that I believe they're difficult to get consistent results. Pressing is longer. You have a limited number of substrates out there. And so what we've done is we've tried to stick, I think, with things that are easy to press, they're profitable, and therefore I'm not a big fan. But of the products that certainly are good 3D presses, first and foremost are the smartphone covers. So that's a big hit. I've seen people also put plates in there, the kind that you would put food on. So that's the kind of stuff, but I think a lot of people end up using these 3D presses to sublimate mugs with mug wraps, and I don't believe they do that good a job compared to, say, a small convection oven like say a Wolfgang Puck pressure oven. So again, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm just not a big fan of focusing on those low-end 3D presses. We sell what I would call relatively expensive, but really a commercial industrial 3D press made by the great folks in the Netherlands called Technotape, and that press is an awesome reliable production machine, but is that where you need to be, or do you want to be, where you can do literally thousands of products?
Yeah, I like to talk about the sweet spot. In my mind, is the $4 product that you're selling for $20 to $25, and doing as many of those as you can. And again, this looks fantastic. But this is about a $4 cost, whether you do it in a vacuum oven or a flat heat press. You're still going to get $25 for it. Is it worth justifying that big outlay on that big piece of equipment that might be $4,000 or $5,000? For some people, absolutely. We have a customer down in Florida, South Florida, that does pet photos on phone case. This is what they had to have. They've been very successful with it. So it's up to you guys. What's your budget? Where do you want to be? Where do you want to go? So we're going to make a towel live, and I think this should work out. I hope so. So if it doesn't, then
so this towel, what do we call this towel? This is the image towel.
It is. The part number's on your sheet.
Okay. Yep. So it's we'll call it image towel. The image towel is been in the product line for many years, and I've worked with the developer of the towel to make it for us. And it's a little bit unusual in that one side is 100% cotton and the other side is 100% polyester. And so you sublimate to the polyester side, and then it just makes a great towel, and available in a bunch of different sizes. Really just a nice towel. I think we can even grommet the towel for you if you wish, or you can grommet it yourself, and so you can sell it into all sorts of markets, golf, sports, you name it.
Yeah, we can grommet, and you actually have an option. You can tell us where you want the grommet. We'll put it there. Grommet kits are inexpensive. You can go to your local tool, Harbor Freight kind of shop, and just kind of bang the grommet in there.
And then one of the features that's almost been forgotten is when I helped design this towel, we designed it so you could put one of those wooden dowels through the towel like this.
Dowels, piece of string, you got a wall hanger, banner kind of piece.
So feels nice on both sides, as a matter of fact. All right, Jeff.
So here we go. If it doesn't work out, I'm going to use it to dry my tears live on camera here. So here's our transfer. We got some flip-flops, and we've got Lindsay's Beach Bash. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little Pro Spray. I'm going to spray it over here.
Spray it over a trash can is best, or make you a big box to spray everything in.
So got our Pro Spray.
Now, generally we want to, we would normally do a pre-press, but we're running a little time, so go ahead and do a lint roll first.
Yep.
You got your lint roller there. Lint rolling is just a habit you need to get into, because often there is a lint that when it's hit with heat, it's going to turn into blue. So, and the blue is actually a byproduct of the fabric brightener that is used in the manufacture of these products.
We'll lay it on here.
Also, I recommend, again, we're cutting a few corners here, but that you always dry the transfer. And drying the transfer by placing it underneath your heat press for a few seconds is a powerful thing, because you're shocking it a little bit so the paper tightens, and also you're going to make sure the ink is dry. So one of the reasons we do want to do that is because of moisture. Moisture is our evil enemy, and so when moisture comes out of either the substrate, the product, or whatever, often it's going to turn into steam. And if the steam is trapped underneath the transfer, then that's going to ruin your transfer. So all our instructions over these years are tuned. We call it high reliability. Now, often we'll go a little bit further than we need to with our steps, and that's okay. Once you get into production, if you can tune the instructions for your environment. Some people are in dry environments, and they may not need to pre-press. Other people are in very wet environments, and they're going to need to be very concerned about moisture.
So let's cook it up. We got it here. I'm going to go transfer, face down, image area, face up.
So on the towel, one side is polyester, one side is cotton. The label for the towel is on the cotton side, so that label should be down. And we're going to, press per our instructions. I believe the instructions are probably about 60 seconds. We're using our trusty DK20S, which is what I would think is the best press in the world for sublimation. It's a heavy-duty swing away, very consistent heat. And we're going to press. When you're pressing stuff like this, we can look over at the press. I don't know if the camera can see it okay. And, if you see a lot of steam coming out of the press, well, that's a sign that we got some moisture to deal with. I'm looking over here, things look good. But ultimately, you're trying to make judgments every time you press something, and that's where your documentation really comes into play. Document your successes, failures, so that ultimately you can take our instructions and tune them for yours, because every press is a little bit different. It'd be like saying there's a universal set of cooking instructions for everybody's stove. Just doesn't work that way. And so you tune according to your environment. So Jeff's going to peel off the cover sheet, and you can make a judgment call pretty quick here about how good a job we did with the transfer. And
hey,
wow,
no tears today.
looks quite good.
Yep.
One of the things that I talk about, and I think I repeat about the same thing every time. Wow, nice. Very nice. Is that black is the last color to sublimate. So maybe hold it in front of the camera.
Yep.
Black is the last color to sublimate, and so when you're doing test transfers, when you're doing everything, be critical of your black. Your black should be great. So you need to press long enough to get a great black, and then typically you need to press a little bit longer than you need to, because heat presses cycle in temperature just like the thermostat in your house. So if you're right at the very edge of pressing long enough, then that's a problem, because you're going to close that press one time, and that press is going to be at the bottom of its temperature right before the element turns back on. And so you always want to press a little bit longer than you need to. In addition, if you're seeing your blacks turn brown, generally that's a sign that we're pressing too long. So be critical. Note in your document, your sublimation diary, so to speak, document. And often over the years, we've actually taken the instructions for the most common products that we do, and we actually tape them to the press, so that an operator would not have to go look it up. It's right in their face. And then last comment, of course, sound like a broken record, is the wall of shame. When you do make mistakes, don't throw them away. Put those in a place, say, near your press or near the computer, whichever place the mistake occurred, so that it's in your face. So for instance, if we had done this upside down where the little bar thing was at the bottom, maybe we would have said, okay, that's not right. So you do want to be consistent with how you're doing your products. Your clients are going to expect consistency.
All right, so let's do a little recap. So remember, we had the new yard signs. Send us your ideas, 4 shapes for the yard signs. This is that outdoor metal, great stuff. Tons of opportunities, just all over the place with that.
We're the only ones who have.
Yeah, this is an exclusive shape to us.
Yeah, Sprite, which is out today, I told her a little bit of what I wanted, and it's here. So is it in stock, you think?
Not yet.
Not yet. So I think it'll be in stock in a very short time. Do you know the part number or anything, Meredith?
It's U99.
U9980. So give us a call, get us pre-orders in. Call your account manager. Say, I want to get my hands on a couple of those as soon as they get in
And then give
here.
us your ideas for more.
New vapor shirts, new maple magnets, or name badges. Got Long Beach coming up, so make plans if you're in the area. Come see us. We're going to be rock and rolling out there with the coloring booth and our big booth. We'll have a great staff out there. One of the other things that I wanted to mention regarding a show is if you need a big piece of equipment like one of these DK20s with the stand, that sort of thing, shipping's kind of got you on the fence. You're like, man, that's a lot of money to get it here to me. We bring 2 or 3 of these with us to the shows. Call your account manager and say, hey, I want to get that DK20. They'll pre-sell it. We'll bring it to you. I'll load it in your car for you. So it's an opportunity for you to save a couple $100, and they'll probably get you a better deal all the way around. So it just works out great. So we made our cool beach towel. And so, these things are really cool. What I want to do is I want to give you one of these. So for the, what do we run this for the month kind of thing? So let's say for the remainder of the month, for the rest of June, place a $100 order. I'm gonna send you one of these maple badges for you to try out and get in your shop and just start showing people. I'd love to see somebody make some name badges out of them. Send us some pictures, put it in the client gallery, and see how that works. But
I had 2 last things to cover. Number 1 is be sure to ask for a copy of our pricing spreadsheet. Ask your client, ask your Condé rep for that. We would love your feedback on that spreadsheet. We are always updating it. We love your feedback on if you say, well, your price is a little bit needs to be a little bit tuned. We'd love your feedback. Number 2 is I was looking over our software inventory the other day, and I noted that we have a fairly good inventory of older versions of Corel Draw. I have a fairly good stock of some legacy versions, the X7 and X8. There are many folks that that's ideal for them. Over the years, Corel has kept growing, but its core features are about the same. So if you're interested in getting a deal on a older version of Corel, like X7, X8, certainly let your Condé rep know. One of the advantages of that is, for instance, for Corel X8, I think you would be able to update that at a relatively low cost to a newer version. So that can be a stepping stone, and I can't remember the rules offhand, so I apologize. But check out those. X7 to me was just an absolutely awesome version. I loved it, and but you know how the software game is played. They add new features, come out with a new version, want you to upgrade. So check out these old versions if they're appropriate for what you're doing. I know I've talked to Craig at Digital Art Solutions, and his add-on, which is called Smart Designer, really works ideal with these with X7 and X8. So maybe that's an opportunity for folks that don't own Corel or need another license to get it at a better cost.
I think that wraps it up.
Okay. Any final comments, Meredith? We thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend, and we appreciate your being part of this. Thank you.